and welcome to I Feel Fat Today. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. I think my mic has a lot of hair, cat hair to be specific, all over it. So if that's what you're seeing, please keep that to yourself and know that management is fully aware. Welcome to the show. We've done it. It's another week. Some housekeeping. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. We're almost at 400 subs. It's so close. I can taste it. Please, please, please subscribe over on YouTube, where you will be notified that there is a new episode. We have full video episodes there every single Friday. And then after you subscribe on YouTube, please head over to Apple Podcasts to leave a 5-star review. If you show me proof of the 5-star review that you had left, I will send you some I Feel Fat Today stickers, which I'm not going to show you what they look like, because if you don't like them, you're not going to leave a review. So leave that review and get some surprise stickers in the mail from yours truly. And then, of course, follow us on social media. If we don't have a following on social media, do we even exist? No, come on. Follow us at I Feel Fat Today. It's what I tell myself every time I look in the mirror. And then follow me, my personal Instagram, at Hello, This is Kelly. And that is how I answered the phone. And then if you were looking for advice, please email us at ifeelfattoday@gmail.com. Okay. Now, I feel like I've been saying this a lot more often than usual lately, but no, today is going to be a rather quick episode. And that is because I am filled to the brim with anxiety. I wanted to make a joke, but I'm literally 2 minutes into recording and I did not want to get flagged on YouTube. I almost said Amazon. I am filled with so much anxiety. I cannot even think straight. What do you guys do to relieve anxiety? Because I can only think of destructive manners, and the manners that I think of only cause more anxiety. My anxiety got so bad yesterday, so bad, that I went out and was this close to buying a pack of cigarettes. Like, it felt like the only thing that could cure the anxiety-ridden rage that was bubbling up inside of me and about to come out of every orifice. And as I was walking around to go get a pack, I was thinking about how bad I end up feeling in the aftermath. And it's not even like, oh, I have a cough. Oh, my lungs hurt now. Oh, I feel like a piece of shit. It's just like that feeling in your mouth after having had a cigarette. I'm a almost 32-year-old woman. If someone is listening to this and disappointed in hearing that, I've lived a lot of life. But the feeling in my mouth, it's just like the reminder of, the once a year that I probably end up having a cigarette, why it's not worth it. But man, oh my God, it's like, I really feel like I'm one bad night away from a hospital vacation. I swear to God. And I don't mean to joke about something that people, deal with. And I hate being one of those, young 30-something-year-old women that talk about, I'm mentally ill, because I think that that's kind of cringe, like mental illness is a lot of things, but it just feels like that's what everyone talks about, is how mentally ill they are, especially in stand-up. And I don't want that to be my thing, but I am being honest right now and telling you, I am at the point where I'm not even looking forward to therapy sessions this week, because I'm so anxious thinking about having to talk about the anxiety. And I don't really know what brought this on. I mean, I guess things in life are kind of crazy and up and down, and nothing feels reliable at this point. But that's life, such is life. And so if you're listening to this and you deal with anxiety, just know you are not alone. It feels like you're suffering in silence, but you absolutely are not. And I haven't felt this way in so long. I have not felt this way, and I can't tell you how long. Like, I'm not on any medication anymore. Like, fully just living my life. And when I would feel anxiety, I have these tools that I use to work through it and, whatever, get through the bad feelings that I have. And oh man, it feels debilitating. Like, I honestly, when I went to record this, I didn't know if I had the ability to get through this episode without crying, because that just feels like my only option. It just feels like the only thing that feels safe is to just cry. So I've been doing a lot of crying and I've been doing a lot of walking because those are the only two things that really feel safe. That's the only word I can think about. And just trying to avoid temporary fixes, because the thing about temporary fix is that it really works in the short term, and it's almost like it gets compounded when the temporary fix is gone. So that's how I'm doing. I don't have a sweet treat of the week because nothing feels worth a treat or at all treatable. So we're going to move on to today's topics. Again, solo episode. Next week, I should have a guest. Honestly, for this week, I should have given myself a mental health day and not put out an episode. But I have a promise. I'm going to keep it. But it is, kind of good to know that I'm the only person that's doing this. Like, I don't have a boss telling me to put out episodes every week. I'm the boss. And it's like, if I really needed to take time off, I can do that. But I don't feel like I'm in a place with this podcast where I can take any time off, because it's just been like this uphill, muddy battle. Like, not only am I walking uphill, I'm like drudging. Shut up, Alexa. I'm just like trying to climb up a hill in the rain, and it's muddy and I'm sopping wet and I'm covered in shit, and I'm just trying to get to the top. And if I stop and take a break, I'm just going to slide down the hill, and I don't want to slide down the hill. So I'm continuing to persevere, and feel like I'm looking pretty pathetic in doing it. So I don't know. Thanks for listening to that, if you still are, which I don't know why you would be. Okay, so I have a few things I want to talk about. I came upon this one article. It's a very, very, very quick read, and it kind of stuck out to me, and it felt worth reading. So this is from page 6, and it's titled, Lena Dunham drops out of Polly Pocket movie, won't star in Netflix show, so her body isn't dissected again. So, Lena Dunham Girls is putting her mental health first. The Girls creator, 38, told The New Yorker that her semi-autobiographical Netflix series, Too Much, is currently in post-productions, but fans shouldn't expect to see her on the screen. Dunham decided it was best to cast Meg Stalter over herself in the lead role due to backlash from body shamers in the past. Sorry, there's a lot of photos in page 6 article, so it takes a lot to scroll through them. I was not willing to have another experience like what I'd experienced around girls at this point in my life, she said in the interview published Tuesday. Physically, I was just not up for my body being dissected again. Although casting Stalter was an easy choice, Dunham said it was hard to admit the real reason why she didn't feel comfortable taking on the role herself. I used to think that winning meant you just keep going, you just keep doing it, and you don't care what anybody thinks, she explained. I forgot that winning is actually just protecting yourself and doing what you need to do to keep making work. Elsewhere in the interview, Dunham discussed how society has taken a hit when it comes to body positivity in recent years due to the new class of Ozempic thin women. It seems like we had this moment of body positivity, and then every single day, it's like we're looking around and it's like our masses are decreasing, she said. Too Much is about a 30-something woman who lives in New York City after a breakup and moves to London, where she falls in love with a musician, similar to her own love story with husband Louis Felber. Over a decade in the industry, the Emmy-nominated actress has learned the importance of picking and choosing her projects, which is why she is also no longer part of Mattel's Polly Pocket movie. In 2021, it was announced that Dunham would be writing and directing the Lily Collins-led film following the toy company's success with Barbie. However, the sharp stick producer recently dropped out after working on the script for 3 years. I think Greta Gerwig managed this incredible feat with Barbie, which was to make this thing that was literally candy to so many different kinds of people and was perfectly and divinely Greta. Dunham explained. And I just feel like unless I can do it that way, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I have it in me. I feel like the next move I make needs to feel like a movie that I absolutely have to make. No one but me could make it, and I did think other people could make Polly Pocket. As for the next project, Dunham said she wants to tackle something that's distinctly commercial but also maintains the DNA of what's interesting to her, which she admits is likely another romantic comedy. Yeah, so that was Lena Dunham talking about how she's not going to be in her Netflix show and she's dropping out of the Polly Pocket movie, all because she wasn't explicitly said, but it's like she has this fear of being perceived, which is something I talk about a lot on this show. And I completely understand and empathize with Lena Dunham, especially because if anybody listening to this is at all a fan of Girls and has watched the season, I'm currently in a rewatch on season 3, and that show just makes me feel so nostalgic because of watching it in college and then my early years living in the city. I really related a lot to Lena Dunham's character Hannah, and which is like so cringe, but I don't know. I got her. She sucked, and like I used to suck, and I sometimes do suck a lot. So I got her, and she really put herself out there. She really like had her full ass naked body on our, HBO or on HBO on our TV screens, and people were horrible to her because of it. And I feel like anytime Lena Dunham is at all in the news at all has always been because of the way that she looks and, something annoying that she said or did, but it always seems to focus on her looks. And so I thought what was interesting about this, the main takeaway from this little quick read, was how she thought empowerment for her was putting herself out there and kind of taking the hits when it comes to people being mean and talking shit and being downright rude and disrespectful, and how she persevered and kept going and just, kind of worked through that. She thought that was empowerment, as opposed to now, as she's more adult, realizes like, no, what is empowerment is protecting my peace and not putting myself in situations in which I'm going to get hurt. Which I think is actually really sad, because if acting is something and being a part of projects is something, what did I just say? If acting is something and if being a part of project is something, no, that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say was, if being on camera, on screen is something that you want to do, but you're afraid to do it because of the way that because of the way you look is going to be interpreted by people, that's really sad. And I worry that for myself, especially, I'm going to find myself in the entertainment industry being more in the shadows because I'm too afraid of people looking at me. And I think that's something that feeds into this anxiety, because it's such a bad feeling to feel like people don't like what they're looking at. And it's just, I don't know. I don't want to be too depressing, so I'm going to move on. So, which brings me to my next topic, which is, what is body neutrality? So, according to ChatGPT, body neutrality is a movement that encourages people to accept and appreciate their bodies as they are, without necessarily loving or hating them. It focuses on what the body can do rather than how it looks. The idea is to foster a neutral mindset towards one's body aiming for a healthy relationship with it that isn't driven by appearance. This approach can reduce the pressure to meet societal beauty standards and promote beauty and physical well-being. So that's what body neutrality is. And that is a term that I throw a lot around on this podcast, coupled with the term body positivity. And I kind of thought that body positivity and body neutrality were kind of coupled together as one and the same, but they're not. They're different. And so I have another article here in which it talks about why body neutrality works better than body positivity. So, like I said, very, very quick episode. We're only like 15 minutes in, and I'm on my last article, which is also a very quick read. So I'm sorry, it's a short one. I don't have a guest this week, and I didn't have the mental fortitude to fill an hour. Okay, so this one is from the Times. So why body neutrality works better than body positivity, by Jessie Nealand. When body positivity started to become popular on social media in the early 2010s, I was thrilled. As a personal trainer who had recently gained a small following on Instagram, I loved being a part of it. There seemed to be mainstream pushback against the increasingly unrealistic beauty and body ideals that cause so many women to feel unworthy and insecure. It all seems so brave and radical. People showing off their imperfections, reshaping the narrative around what's beautiful, and shining a light on the reshaping the narrative around what's beautiful. Oh, I read that sentence wrong. And shining the light on the unconscious biases we're conditioned to hold when it comes to which kind of body indicates that a person is worthy of being visible and happy and which doesn't. It was exciting to make social media posts challenging my audience to think more deeply about their desires and assumptions with regard to fitness and bodies, and to encourage them to question everything. I would take a picture of myself with my exposed belly relaxed and bloated instead of sucked in, and write a caption about why we need to destigmatize round bellies. Or I'd compose a before and after comparison showing how easy it is to fake a, quote, perfect body for social media, and exposing how even supposedly flawless bodies have cellulite and rolls when they're not posed and edited. People loved these posts, and I was inundated with messages about how brave and inspiring I was and how the fitness industry needed more voices like mine. I'm realizing I have no idea what what the author of this article looks like, and I think that someone's perspective on this, whether they're, a little bit overweight or 600 pounds, kind of will shape your view of how to take in this information. So I'm curious if this is somebody that looks like they are not rail thin versus somebody that's, maybe considered obese on the BMI scale. Looking back, I find it all very cringy for a lot of reasons. The least being that my naked body is now all over the internet, and most being that I contributed to the soon-to-be popular trope of a thin, able-bodied white girl in her 20s being celebrated in a movement that was founded to uplift and center the rights and dignity of folks in marginalized bodies. Body positivity was originally based on the work of fat acceptance activists from the 1960s. The movement was entirely focused on fighting... Stupid ad popped up. The movement was focused entirely on fighting for the equality of opportunities, treatment, representation, safety, and dignity for all people living in marginalized bodies. You could hate your body while pushing for greater accessibility and anti-discrimination policies, and you can also embrace your body without participating in the movement for justice or equality. The two ideas were separate. The social media version of body positivity has migrated so far from the movement's original intent that many users posting about the topic are completely ignorant to its roots. Yeah, a lot of people are using body positivity as a way to gain followers. And this author talks about that, as she herself said that she was a skinny 20-something white woman who, was invested in the movement because she really enjoyed the message, but didn't understand the history of it and really what body positivity was for. It's not just about saying that your stomach looks like it has a little bit of a pooch because you have a uterus. Like, fuck off. And frankly, the social media version of body positivity doesn't work. Despite the extraordinary popularity of the idea that we should all feel good about our bodies, here we are, over a decade after the concept's mainstream rise, and body image issues haven't become any less common, intense, or destructive to people's lives. Some studies indicate that eating disorders, as one example, became more prevalent during the pandemic. We need to let go of the idea of body positivity. There's nothing wrong with loving ourselves or our bodies if we're being realistic about what love means. But I do take issue with the notion that we should be able to feel a constant flow of celebratory happiness and affectionate gratitude towards our bodies, or that we have to joyfully embrace every dimple, every jiggle, and every inch. That's neither realistic nor necessary. Body neutrality, on the other hand, takes the pressure way off and tends to feel like a much more approachable and achievable goal. First popularized by Anne Proyer. Oh, I definitely said that wrong. First popularized by Anne. Wait, let me check. Hold, please. Pronunciation. Poirier. I really hate that I get names wrong so often. Okay, body neutrality, on the other hand, takes the pressure way off and tends to feel like a much more approachable and achievable goal. First popularized by Anne Poirier, the author of The Body Joyful, it offers a safe place to rest as you exit body hatred, without putting pressure on you to somehow magically love every iota of your body and self. Body neutrality invites us to understand ourselves and others as whole human beings first and to form our concept of wealth, value, and identity around a person's internal self instead of their external self. It helps us strip away the many layers of complex social conditioning telling us what different bodies mean so we can see this clear and objective truth. That beauty and attractiveness can be pleasant and nice, but they can't tell you anything about a person's character, personality, lifestyle, or the kind of life and treatment they deserve. Neutrality gives you space for everything that previously felt like a huge problem and kind of just be whatever. Not good, but not bad. Not something to freak out about. Not even a problem to solve. Sort of an annoying thing, maybe worthy of an eye roll or a shrug before you move on with your day, but ultimately pretty meaningless. It gives you the ability to see yourself and the world clearly, which means you can take your emotional power back from the places that don't deserve it. If you have been trying to love your body without success for a while, try this. Say to yourself, in your head or out loud, your big complaints about your body, and follow each one with the phrase, and that's not a problem. And that makes sense and is okay. Or, and that doesn't mean anything bad about me. So it's saying, okay, let's try the exercise together. They have an example in here, but screw that. Okay, what's something I hate about me? My stomach. Oh, my arms. My arms. Oh, I hate my arms. Okay, so what does it say? If you've been trying to love your body without success for a while, try this. Say to yourself in your head or out loud your biggest complaint about your body. Okay. My arms are too big, and that's not a problem. My arms are unattractive, and that makes sense. Is okay. I don't like this exercise. Well, I guess me saying my arms are unattractive is just me. That's not a truth, but it is something I believe about myself. Let's try this. My arms are flabby, and that doesn't mean anything bad about me. That one felt pretty good. So try a few on for size. See how you feel. That last one actually did feel pretty good. Some of the examples in here are I wish I were smaller, and that's not a problem. I hate the way my blank looks, and that makes sense and is okay. I desperately want to lose weight, and that doesn't mean anything bad about me. That one I really like. I desperately want to lose weight, and that doesn't mean anything bad about me. And the point is, whatever negative feelings you may have towards your body are understandable, given everything you've learned and experienced in your life. Body neutrality gives you the opportunity to explore the roots of your beliefs and feelings, and this is important because when we recognize how reasonable it is to feel critical of our bodies, we have the power to invite compassion for ourselves and our suffering instead of judgment. You are not unintelligent, unreasonable, feeble, or misinformed just because you're struggling with body image. And frankly, rejecting our feelings about our bodies isn't all that different from rejecting our bodies themselves. If the goal is peace and acceptance, we have to work with and not against ourselves. That means letting go of the idea that self-criticism is irrational and that we should plow over it with forced positivity. Approaching our body image issues with kindness, curiosity, and understanding is key if we're going to stand any chance of dismantling them. Oh, I really, really, really enjoyed that read. And I've been looking a lot into the concept of body neutrality versus body positivity, just, for myself and trying to navigate the world, especially the world of, talking about the way one looks on a podcast platform. And body positivity always felt like, it always felt like capitalism has entered the chat. Body positivity feels like a movement that is sold and forced upon, and this is my own experience with it. This is my own feelings, and if you are listening to this and you are a major proponent of body positivity, I love that for you. And I think that there's different strokes for different folks, but for me, I always felt deficient and defective because I didn't have the ability to feel positive about my body. So I felt like I was just, what is wrong with me? There's a whole movement about feeling positive about the skin that you're in. And then I look at, an Aries ad from 2010, and it's real models that have accepted their body, and it's a bitch that looks fine. It's not the plus size models that we know today. And body neutrality feels like a more approachable modality to stop hurting myself. Sorry. I just am so mean to myself, and it's so grating. Because I don't know why I'm crying. It's just like I don't have the ability to love anything about me. And I just feel like there's something wrong with me because of it. And I talk about all the time how I feel like I am currently, of all the bodies that I've lived in, I'm currently living in the one that I always feared I would. And it's very difficult to experience life day to day with that. And something I try to always remind myself is that, like, it could be so much worse. You could have health issues, which I don't have. You could have, you could be disabled to the point of not being able to be independent, and how you would have to learn how to navigate that. And I'm so lucky that I don't have to. And so I think body neutrality, when I really started looking into it and really understanding what it was, it kind of gave me this sense of relief of like, it's okay that I have disdain for myself. And it doesn't always have to be like that. But I had to stop pretending that I was okay with just the way that I look. And I follow a lot of creators on line, like on Instagram, where it just seems like they have the ability to love the way that they look and wear whatever they want and not be thinking about it all the time. And I'm wondering, can they actually do that? Like, do they have access to something? Do they hold a key that if I work hard enough, I can grab a hold of that key and not think about my body every waking second of every waking moment? I feel like I'm always kind of distracted because I'm thinking about the way that I look and then, you think, oh, that's crazy, right? That's crazy to think that. And then I see a photo of myself and it's just reiterated. It's like proof of concept that, yes, the negative way I was feeling is correct because I have photographic evidence of it. Oh, I gotta stop. I gotta go. Yeah, like I said, it's been rough. This is the anxiety talking. I don't know. Last thing I'll say is I have this fear of seeing people that used to know me because they've known me as a skinnier person or a thinner person. I was really never skinny. Or was I? I don't know. I have this fear of people from my past seeing me. And I ran into somebody that knew me in a thinner body. And in the entire interaction I had with them, which was a completely pleasant, normal, fine, 30-second interaction that you have with somebody that you haven't seen in many years, Like, hey, how are you? Oh, crazy seeing, one of those, normal. And the entire time I thought about, what do they think about the way that I look? And it doesn't matter what they think about the way that I look, but it tortured me. And I experience this all the time when I run into people. And I guess I'm just kind of telling you that story because if you feel it, it's a normal feeling to experience. And sitting in the shame of that doesn't allow you to grow and be better, whether it's on like a physical level of changing your body or an emotional level of accepting your body or a combination of both. And you don't have to change at all. I don't have to change unless, of course, I went to the doctor and was told that I was dying, but that's not the case either. So, I don't know. It's just been rough, okay? It's been a rough few weeks, and I've really been holding it together as best as I can. And when that happens, everything kind of starts to fall apart. The dam starts to break, and the waterworks happen. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say. I have a good life. So I don't really have much complaining to do, but it's take care of yourself, everybody. I don't know. How do I end this? This is like the most awkward thing. What time am I at? It's like a little over half an hour, and I'm probably going to cut a bunch of this out, so it might even be less. Did I have anything else I wanted to talk about? I don't think so. We need to move on. I need to go for a walk before I need to go for a walk. Nothing works. Okay. Next week we should have a guest. If not, it'll be a better episode. Or maybe I'll take the week off to like really, I don't know. I'm not taking the week off. Okay. Guys, it's been I Feel Fat today. I'll talk to you next Friday. Bye.